Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 193. Please subscribe. Today's lesson, all things are lessons God would have me learn. And that is, in and of itself, it's a phrase that many have used, many that I know have used. I have used it whenever we're in a perplexing situation and we're not quite sure what it is I'm supposed to learn from this experience. And we can simply say, all things are lessons God would have me learn. And at some point I will understand exactly what I am being taught. That is Trixie, by the way, if you were wondering. So all things are lessons God would have me learn. God does not know of learning, yet his will extends to what he does not understand, in that he wills the happiness his son inherited from him to be undisturbed, eternal and forever gaining scope, eternally expanding in the joy of full creation, and eternally open and wholly limitless in him. That is a wonderful definition of what creation is. Constantly expanding, eternally expanding, and in joy of the full creation. That is our Father's will for us. Perfect peace, perfect happiness. That is his will. And thus his will provides the means to guarantee that it is done. God's will be done. God sees no contradictions, yet his son believes he sees them. Thus, he has a need for one who can correct his erring sight and give him vision that will lead him back to where perception ceases, back to where we first started, and where there's no longer perception. There is only true perception. There is seeing with our right minds and Christ's vision. God does not perceive at all, yet it is he who gives the means by which perception is made true and beautiful enough to let the light of heaven shine upon it. It is he who answers what his son would contradict and keeps his sinlessness forever safe. Our sinlessness is being held for us. Our guiltlessness is held for us because that is who we are. That is how we are created. I am as God created me. God created me sinless. God created me guiltless. God created me perfect. And if I don't recognize or remember that, it's okay. It is being held for me, just as I have said in the past, how parents will hold on to memories and trinkets and art projects from the their children's youth, and what they created in school. So we hold on to those things. And just as we as parents hold on to our children's or our grandchildren's objects d'art, so does our Father hold on to our sinlessness and our guiltlessness. These are the lessons God would have you learn. His will reflects them all, and they reflect his loving kindness to the Son, the child he loves. Each lesson has a central thought, the same in all of them. The form alone is changed with different circumstances and events, with different characters and different themes, apparent but not real. They are the same in fundamental content. It is this: forgive and you will see this differently. But we have an individualized curriculum, because the curriculum for one of us is not necessarily how the one next to us, my brother, will learn. In lesson 185, I want the peace of God, we had this wonderful sentence that said, whatever form the lesson takes is planned for him in such a way that he cannot mistake it if his asking is sincere. If we are truly asking that all things are lessons that God would have me learn, and I want to learn those lessons, they will be given to us in a way that we can truly and completely understand them. Now, I'm also going to go back to lesson 79 to let me recognize the problem so it can be solved, which was followed by let me recognize my problems have been solved. How would those problems be solved? Those problems will be solved by forgive, and you will see this differently. And in truth, there has always been only one problem, and that one problem has been my belief in separation. When I have forgiven myself for that belief, my problems will indeed be solved, and I will recognize them in a way that I cannot be mistaken by them. I will absolutely know my problems have been solved, all because I have forgiven, and because all things indeed are lessons God would have me learn. Certain it is that all distress does not appear to be but unforgiveness, yet that is the content underneath the form. The form of the lesson is different because it's going to be different because we have an individualized curriculum. But underneath the form, the lesson, the resolution to every problem is forgive and you will see it differently. Forgive and you will recognize your problems have been solved. No one can hide forever from a truth so very obvious that it appears in countless forms and yet is recognized as easily in all of them if one but wants to see the simple lesson there. Forgive and you will see it differently. These are the words the Holy Spirit speaks in all your tribulations, all your pain, all suffering, regardless of its form. These are the words with which temptation ends and guilt abandoned, no longer needed, revered no more. These are the words which end the dream of sin and rid the mind of fear. These are the words by which salvation comes to all the world. It's our function. Forgiveness is my function. Salvation is my function. Forgiveness and salvation indeed are one. Paragraph 6 is wonderful. Shall we not learn to say these words when we are tempted to believe that pain is real and death becomes our choice instead of life? Shall we not learn to say these words when we have understood their power to release all minds from bondage? These are words which give you power over all events that seem to have been given power over you. You see them rightly when you hold these words in full awareness, and do not forget these words apply to everything you see or any brother looks upon amiss. These words, for I will forgive this and I will see it differently, apply to everything, for me and for the rest of the sonship as well. How can you tell when you are seeing wrong or someone else is failing to perceive the lesson he should learn? Does pain seem real in the perception? This is something I'm teaching all the time. How do we know when we have forgiven something? Because now we can talk about that situation and there's no pain. As I say, there's no charge to it. We can simply step back and see, I have forgiven this. So I can speak of it, but I am not drawn in or attached to it any longer. That's how I know that healing has occurred. God would not have you suffer thus. He would help you forgive yourself. His son does not remember who he is. The existential question of who am I? Why am I here? And the Course answers it by telling us that I am the Holy Son of God himself. He does not remember who he is, and God would have him not forget his love and all the gifts his love brings with it. Would you now renounce your own salvation? Would you fail to learn the simple lessons heaven's teacher sets before you, that all pain may disappear and God may be remembered by his Son? That is the lesson. This is what happens when I forgive everything. When I forgive, again, as the other day, I called it radical forgiveness, complete, total forgiveness. When I have forgiven all the shadows and the shadow figures that I have made up in my mind, when I have decided that there is no need for this any longer, I will be able to rest my mind and come home and rest within the lovely embrace of my Father. All things are lessons God would have you learn. He would not leave an unforgiving thought without correction, nor one thorn or nail to hurt his holy child in any way. He would ensure his holy rest remain untroubled and serene without a care in an eternal home which cares for him, coming home to that lovely embrace from our Father, to our home which is waiting for our return. And he would have all tears be wiped away, with none remaining yet unshed, and none but waiting their appointed time to fall. Let all sadness, all pain, all tears will be wiped away. We will no longer cry out for we are in pain and we are suffering in our mind from thoughts that we have had that are not true and that we have been punishing ourselves with. And he would have and for God has willed that laughter should replace each tear, each one, and that his son is free again. We will take no prisoners today. We will be free from the prison that we spoke of yesterday. Our prisoners are free. We are free. We no longer have to be the warden standing outside the jail cell. We are free together. We will attempt today to overcome 1,000 seeming obstacles to peace in just one day. Let mercy come to you more quickly. Do not try to hold it off another day, another minute, or another instant. Time was made for this. This is the right-minded use of time, to use it for forgiveness. Use it today for what its purpose is. Morning and night, devote what time you can to serve its proper aim. Pardon me. And do not let the time be less than meets your deepest need. In the introduction to the previous review, I believe that we were told that, we will practice for 10, 15, 20 minutes or longer, until we feel that our need has been met. And then the lesson says, give all you can and give a little more. There's no limit to how much time we truly want to spend with God. And then we say, and as we practice, let us think about all things we saved to settle by ourselves and keep apart from healing. No, I'll handle this, Father. You take the rest. But this problem, you can't handle this. No, we let go of everything. Holy open hands, we come to our Father. Let us give them all to him who knows the way to look upon them so they will disappear. Truth is his message. Truth his teaching. Truth his teaching is his are the lessons God would have us learn. To, again, forgive and let everything have the balm of forgiveness fall upon it. And it says that as we practice from 1 hour to the next, don't let us take anything from hour 1 into hour 2. Any little thought that was not a loving thought, it was an erroneous thought, it was less than what our Father would have us think. Take not those ideas with you into the next hour, so that we enter the next hour and the next and the next completely with a clean slate in our mind, that upon it what can be written is indeed the word of God. This is the lesson God would have you learn. This is a way to look on everything that lets it be to you another step to him and to salvation of the world. To all that speaks of terror, answer thus: I will forgive, and this will disappear. It's not only that I will see it differently, it will disappear. It will no longer be part of my mind. I do not need this any longer. I do not want to hold on to it any longer. To every apprehension, every care, and every form of suffering, repeat these self-same words, and then you hold the key that opens heaven's gate and brings the love of God the Father down to earth at last to raise it up to heaven. God takes the final step for us. God will take this final step himself. Do not deny the little steps he asks you take to him. So not to deny our forgiveness to everything today, so that we will see it differently. These are our lessons that our Father would indeed have us learn. And that's it for today, and I hope it helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment. Breathe, 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 and please be here tomorrow. Namaste.